Today is August 30th. Welcome on into Daily Cards Live here on ClaibsOnline.com. I am Joe Roderick, joined alongside by Bob Ramsey, and as you can see, right outside the 590 The Fan Studios. Rammer, it was a late one. It was a long one yesterday, but the Cardinals did what they should do against really bad teams like the Cincinnati Reds. They went out there, they took care of business, they scored a lot of runs, and made a little history along the way.
Yeah, it was almost all positive. A couple of things. Michaelis hit the wall early, which was a little disconcerting. We all know about the bandbox that is Cincinnati. His previous start in Cincinnati did not go well either. He had a start in between at Coors Field that did not go well, but he's had some good ones in there as well. So I think it's just one of those bandbox ballpark jinxes that gets to Michaelis a little bit.
I mean, those home runs that were hit in the fifth inning, those would have been out in any stadium. I think those would have been out in a football field if they would have been playing there. Those were not cheap home runs like I don't know, maybe Albert's could be considered when he hit his. I wonder though, with Michaelis, if it had something to do with the rain delay before the game being pushed back an hour. I know he didn't really get started in a pregame routine, but when you're expecting to start a game around 6 o'clock and you don't start the game until 7 o'clock, an hour later, and then the game drags on the way it does, you know what? Maybe he very easily just could have hit a wall where his day was done at that point. And
those things, that's a couple of angles on that, and every person's different. And even Adam Wainwright admitted a few years ago he wouldn't have been able to do the ESPN thing, but he had a rain delay too on Sunday night. The other thing is Michaelis was really good.
Yeah.
Now if he'd come out and blown up immediately, you'd go, man, he got knocked out of his routine. So I don't know what it was, but he hit the wall fast. Okay. Like I said, I'm not too worked up about it. The other thing is, and I've been mentioning this on our podcast and on radio locally in St. Louis, the last 4 or 5 days sort of looks like Goldschmidt's overswinging a little bit. And as opposed to that tight, compact swing that we see when he's red hot, to that point, he was taking extra BP today. I think he's taking it now or just wrapped it up in Cincinnati. So he's putting a little extra work in today, and I don't think it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, and you mentioned Adam Wainwright. Happy 41st birthday to Wainwright, who's on the trip in Cincinnati, not pitching this series. He will pitch again on Saturday. And speaking of the pitching staff, Rick Hummel reports that Jack Flaherty will start one of the games against the Washington Nationals next week, either Monday or Tuesday, I think is what he said. The 5th or the 6th is when they are planning on starting Jack Flaherty for the St. Louis Cardinals, which kind of brings up a bit of a dilemma right now because Hudson is going tonight. We know that tomorrow it's Quintana. You would assume that Wainwright is throwing on Saturday. I don't know who the Cardinals are going to pitch on Friday night's game against the Cubs. Right now it's listed as to be determined, but Wainwright just threw on Sunday. So do you push him up there to Friday? With the lead that you have with the magic number right now at 29, is that something that you toy with, or do you just give everyone their rest knowing that you're not really in that much of a pressure crunch right now?
You don't have to panic. If you're going to err, you're going to err on the side of an extra day.
Yeah.
And so if they can figure out how to manipulate that, maybe by the time Flaherty comes around, you're able to push everybody back one day.
You know what
and
you could do?
And then make a determination to go back to 5 if you want to.
And you know what you could do is I'm sitting here and I'm just kind of thinking about it as I talk. It's September 2nd. That game on Friday is September 2nd. Matthew Libator could be called up and pitch that game.
Well, if you have, I guess he could. You should have 5 guys. I didn't know we were going to talk about this. I would have looked at the rotation.
You're right.
There, but, I think that they can go in regular rotation and then push everybody back if Flaherty does get the start one day next week. On the other hand, what you could look at it as is Dakota Hudson pitching for another start. If he's good, then you do push everybody back and go with a sixth starter one time through. If he's not good, here's Flaherty and Dakota's out. So, but then there's also what does Quintana do in his next start? So you want to look ahead and always have a plan, but it doesn't have to be etched in stone today.
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't, and as it's also you look at the opponent that you're playing to. It's there isn't a whole lot of panic going on right now. I know the Dodgers just announced that they're going to a 6-man rotation till the end of the season, so they are already in that mode where they're just kind of resting arms and making sure they're ready for the postseason run. And you know what? When you're up 6, are they up 6.5 games right now? You're up 6.5 games right now on the Brewers with a month left in the season. I don't, I think you can, you're not coasting. You're not taking the foot off the gas. But I think that you realize what's in front of you and realize the padding that you have there in those standings.
And I had mentioned 6-man rotation one time through, but if everybody is at least competitive, you could do the same thing.
Yeah. And you very well could be sitting here in the month of September with at least 8 starters in that on that pitching staff right now.
Well, I'm looking at it now. Now that you piqued my interest, you got Hudson, Quintana, and then Montgomery is due Friday.
Is he due Friday?
That, according to what I'm looking at.
Okay, so he would have pitched on Saturday.
Waino, Monty, Waino, Michaelis. And then Hudson is listed Monday, Quintana Tuesday. I did not see Rick Hummel's report, and I'm sure it's accurate or he wouldn't report it. Then he either probably takes Hudson or Quintana's spot, depending on how they do these next couple of days, or you jam them in and slide everybody back, which is probably not a bad idea at all.
Yeah. Here he goes. It was from Derek Gould earlier. I believe it was from Derek Gould earlier today. I'd have to take a look and see exactly where it was that was posted. I'll get on that and I will I'll check back in a bit. But I do want to get into talking about what we saw Albert Pujols do last night in the game. Another home run, 694 now in his career. 450 different pitchers that he has hit home runs off of. That is just, I mean, to wrap your head around how many different pitchers have felt the wrath of Albert Pujols in his career is crazy. Here we go. I'm going to put this into perspective. Rammer, our good friend Brian Hoffman, who was smart enough to get out of the radio business about a year ago. I just saw this stat from him in as far as the pitchers go. The Cardinals have used 456 different pitchers since 1974.
Yeah.
So think about that. That is how many pitchers 450 are. That's a big gap.
What's interesting about that, to try and do what he's done, playing half his career in the other league certainly helps.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously the longevity. So it'd be, I don't know, when you go down the list, how many guys split their time between the two leagues to give them more opportunity to face other people. The one guy that came quickly to mind for me was somebody like Frank Robinson, who played with the Reds and in the second half of his career with the Orioles, but there were fewer pitchers.
Yeah.
There were fewer teams. So longevity and opportunity, and Pujols has certainly capitalized.
And then, I mean, when you add in, the fact, Hank Aaron, Babe Ruth, they played a long time ago. Barry Bonds has played within the last 20 years. And that is just, the amount of times that they probably brought a lefty in to face him late in a game that he homered off that guy, and just the amount of teams that he would have played and different pitchers that would have come through back then. For as many home runs that he hit, 60 more than what Albert's at right now, that Albert's done it off more pitchers is really really impressive.
Yeah, and like I say, I think that the thing that aided him in that number is playing half his career in the American League and seeing a whole different set of guys, and he didn't care. He didn't care. Just kept hitting bombs.
We don't have a lineup yet for the Cardinals today, at least not the last time I checked on it, but we do have a lineup on the Cincinnati Reds for tonight's game. It's Dakota Hudson against Justin Dunn of the Reds, and the Reds lineup looks like this. Jonathan India is at second base, Jake Fraley DHing Kyle Farmer at short, Donovan Solano is at first, TJ Friedel is in left, Nick Senzel in center, Astrides Esquino is in right, Aleo Lopez is at third, and Austin Romine, former 2022 St. Louis Cardinal, is batting ninth and behind the plate. Wonder how much he learned during his short time here that the Reds could use against the Cardinals.
For the Cardinals lineup, be interesting to see. Do you kind of go with the basic same lineup against another right-hander? You would assume so. Do you want to put Pujols back in there and DH him? Do you want to get Gorman in there and give Albert a day just to try and keep him as fresh as you can? I think those are a couple of the decisions that Ollie Marmol will need to make. I have to assume that Dickerson's back in there, or you could put Dickerson at DH, move O'Neill back to left, give Carlson a look out there. But I think they're more likely to give Gorman a try or stay with Pujols than go to Carlson.
The around other news around baseball, Rammer, I don't know if you saw this, but Johan Duran of the Twins last night became the first pitcher in Major League history to throw an off-speed pitch that registered 100 miles an hour on the radar gun.
Can that technically be true? If it's off-speed, what's the fastball do?
Yeah, it goes about 105 probably.
My gosh.
And then I don't know if you saw what O'Neill Cruz did yesterday against Corbin Burns of all people. Corbin Burns, one of the best pitchers in all of baseball. Corbin Burns. O'Neill Cruz lined out, hit the ball 113.8 miles an hour, grounded out 113.2 miles an hour, then hit a home run at 117.5 miles per hour. That's a lot of hard hit baseballs.
Well, and then he hit one off the wall about that. What was it the other day? A day or two ago?
The hardest hit ball ever.
Yeah, 118, 119, whatever.
Yeah.
Off the wall.
No, Rammer. Give the guy some credit. It was 122.4.
Ah, that's right.
Yeah.
122.
122.4.
He swings it pretty good.
It's crazy what how fast these baseballs were getting these days. Glad you're not playing in this era, right, Rammer?
Well, I think if you're a hitter, you'd sure like to.
But you know what? You got to go out in the field and catch those at some point too. So
play deep.
Hey, Rammer, I will see you tomorrow, as I will be with going around all of St. Louis with Joe West, the umpire. So I will be there at the 590 studios with you as he makes the stop at 11 a.m. tomorrow with Frank Cusimano and yourself on the Hollywood Casino press box. Also making stops at 101 ESPN and 105.7 The Point on the Riz Show over there. Rammer, before we get out of here, though, we have to mention our sponsors, Munganess St. Louis Acura and Royal Banks. Royal Banks of Missouri, always there for you. And by there, I mean in your community, whether it's in St. Louis, St. Charles, the East Side, 3 locations in Northeast Missouri, and all of them make you realize they are your hometown bank. 314-212-1500, Royal Banks of Missouri, where better service means better banking. Back tomorrow with another episode of Daily Cards Live right here, ClaibsOnline.com.
St. Louis Acura has an unbeatable selection of new cars arriving daily, like the all-new 2023 Acura Integra. We also have a great selection of over 200 pre-owned and factory precision courtesy vehicles with finance rates as low as 1.9% for 36 months with approved credit. And we've added Saturday service hours to our newly renovated service facility. Don't forget, we'll buy your vehicle here at our dealership or from the convenience of your home. St. Louis Acura, better than ever for you.